Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, what it do, good people. Positive energy and good vibrations as usual. This is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Family, and this is the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, Swizzle, say what up to the good people, man.
What's up, good people? I'm very happy to be here. Like you said, I'm Swiss Mahogany. I hope you can hear me. And if you can hear me, then you're in for a great show because they got a lot of good things to say. I might have a little good thing to say. Let's go.
Listen,
What it
man,
is,
we are
people?
excited.
You don't even understand. Like, it's about to be a great episode. Like, what's good, people? It's your boy KB. With It's Now or Never Entertainment. Or short for none. With all your musical needs, holla at your boy. I'm just excited for this episode.
Yo, TR, what it do, baby?
Hey yo, it's your man TR_Trouble. Listen, we got a fire episode. We got a special guest on. Tonight's episode, y'all know I'm always smoking a nice cigar. So tonight is the Ashton H. Maduro. Get it in the camera, y'all know. Get it right there. We're gonna keep it short and sweet tonight, man, because we really want to jump into it. Yo, Doc, say what's up to the people. Introduce our special guest.
Man, that's my pleasure. Yo, listen, man. Once again, another dope week of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. And again, we have another special guest, another imperfect father himself. The brother goes by the name of Rob Coach. Let me tell y'all, man, I met him also through the Clubhouse app. But once again, another brother who's done nothing more than add value, inspiration to my life. I appreciate everything he stands for, and I'm glad to have him on the platform. So my man, Rob Coach, what do it do, my guy?
What it do, baby? I'm very blessed to be here with these guys, man. It's always a pleasure to be around such inspiring young brothers as they are, especially Tribble in that beard. I'm excited.
That's what we're gonna do tonight. All right.
Yeah, bro, I'm ready.
Man, listen, guys. It's gonna be a phenomenal episode. What you guys don't know before we got on the air, Troy, as doing his usual, cracking jokes, and he started on Rob earlier. So we already lit in the back office. So we bring it to the forefront now. But before we get down with the jokes and everything else, we gotta take care of order of business around here. And our order of business goes like this: we talk to our Father, the most perfect Father, and then we pay our bills. So with that being said, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another week. We thank you for another hour, another second of our life. We're grateful for our positions in our lives, not only in our lives, but our family's life. God, the position of Father, we don't take it lightly. We appreciate it and we value it. Right now, God, we actually look over us right now as we go across the airways that we may help somebody else, some father out there that may need to be inspired, entertained, as well as motivated to be the best version of himself for not just himself, but for his family and his loved ones around him. Right now, God, we ask you for these things that we do pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, listen, now for the bills around here. You dig what I'm saying? Those guys over at Now and Never Entertainment. Trust me when I tell you, one of the baddest producers you know. He will get the work and the project done. KB over there at Now and Never, he works on all kind of projects, whether it be gospel, hip hop, R&B, neo soul, you name it. The man's a genius. He's a beast. And not only is he a beast, he has an extensive catalog that can definitely help you, whether it be with movies, short clips, long clips, reels, you name it. He has a music catalog that's pretty extensive. Go check him out. And if you use the word imperfect when you pull up at his store, he'll give you 50% on any beat in the beat store. That's 50% off, 50. So shop smart, shop black, shop Now and Never over at KB. You dig?
Man,
KB,
that dude sound amazing, bro.
You do production for porn?
All right, hold on.
Wait, it's too early. It's too early.
Yo, Rob. So let me explain something to you. Whenever niggas say some dumb shit on the platform, you get thrown off the stage. And okay. Troy leads the league with dumb shit, so he's gonna leave the stage recklessly.
Yo, what's the over under
today?
Today, I got four. Okay, I'll say.
We lit. We lit. We lit. We're gonna bring it back now. So So guarantee he gonna leave us a few times. Swiss might do it once. You never know. He's Swiss over there smiling, so it's possible.
Swiss is liable now. Swiss is liable. You catch Swiss on the right day, it's going down. Like,
yo, listen, man. So listen, check this out. The next sponsor of the podcast, man, is this lady over at Cassie's Classic Designs. So pretty much all of us are wearing uniform right now, and it comes from the great lady over at Cassie's Classic Design.
what?
Yeah, Rob, we got you. It's in the mail. It's in the mail. Don't trip.
It's in the mail,
It's on the way.
Gotta get that boy. You gotta get him right. You gotta get that size right because he gym 6 times a day.
Okay, we're gonna make sure we have his breast inside of the shirt correctly. We're gonna make sure we get we're gonna make sure we get the bra size right in the shirt. Yo, but check this out, man. But listen, all your shirt needs, holla at Cassie's Classic Design, man. If you want to get at her on Instagram, it's Cassie's_classic_design. But if you want to get her directly, listen, man, it's Cassie's Classic Design at gmail.com. She has all your printing needs, whether it be t-shirts, socks, and so we know drawers. She does do your drawers too. Socks, cups, signs, you name it. Cassie's Classic Design. For another and our last sponsor of the Imperfect Fathers podcast, today it doesn't seem like he's drinking one right now, but listen, normally our co-host Swiss Mahogany is definitely indulging in one of his outstanding and phenomenal products called the Candy Cocktails. And if you don't know what that is, you must have been under a rock. And do me a favor and do yourself a favor and get from under that rock. Go check out Candy Cocktails. Swiss will tell you, we will tell you, it is a phenomenal. It's not just a drink, it's an experience. Trust me, once you have experience, you will come back for more. Candy Cocktails, you dig?
Respect, my G.
With that being said,
sip
yeah, definitely sip that with a lot of respect. Yes, we have footage of Swiss not sipping with respect, and if you want to see that footage, just go back to a few episodes ago, and you'll see his eyes leaning to the left and to the right. So, with that being said, yo, TR, get to work, man. Do your job.
Hey, man, listen, we lost a great one this week. Listen, DMX, aka Darkman X.
Earl Simmons.
Listen,
some respect on his name, man.
Earl Simmons. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. In my book, top 3. In my book, top 3. And man, I just gotta say, the hip hop world. There are a lot of cats in the hip hop realm that owe their careers to DMX. And what can I say, man? Listen, shout out. Prayers, respect out to the family, to DMX family, to his kids. Man, he is going to absolutely be missed. And as always, you know, we're talking about all things fatherhood on the Imperfect Fathers podcast. And like Doc said, man, we've got a phenomenal guest on with us, Mr. Rob Coates. And Rob, before we go any further, man, I'm just gonna let you tell the people a little bit about your background, man.
Okay. I am background. I am. What am I? I'm a black man.
It's important.
That's a start.
I've been an entrepreneur since I would say like 10 years old, man. I've been at a candy store when I was 10. That was out of my parents' garage, and you know I had that. So I started entrepreneurship pretty young. I would pay kids in candy, and then from there I started cutting hair. I was 12 because my parents never took me into the shop and shit like that. And this is before like dark skin really got in style, you know. So
it was going through it as young boys.
You got thick skin then,
bruh. I'm telling you, it was angry teeth. My teeth was horrible. So.
Rob said it's the return of the dark-skinned Negro.
Hey, it's return of the Mac. So did that all the way through college. Then got involved in multi-level marketing. Learned a lot from that. Then went to real estate. Became an author at 26. Wrote a couple of books. By 30, I was a millionaire. You know, I had a lot of success. You know what I'm saying? You know, in 2017, went through. You know, worst years of my life. Lost my parents. Got divorced. House got destroyed by Hurricane Harvey. I was like -2 million. Lost $5 million. in like 6 months. And you know, when COVID happened, made some deals with the right people, connections, and got everything back. So it's been a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I've been homeless. I've had it, not had it, but in that, when I was at one of my darkest times is when my son's mother was like, well, you can't pay child support. You need to take your son. And that's what I did. And, so I've been a full-time father, entrepreneur, the last year and a half, 2 years. And, having him is what made me better, got me more focused. And it seems like all the blessings came with that. And really now I just like to show people that you can be, you can have fun, you can have everything you want and still be, like I said, a perfect father. Because kids, that's what they need to see. So that's it, man.
I'm with Mike. Mike said he casually said I'm a millionaire.
Yo, I was about to say the same shit. Like you can't really casually say that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm a millionaire. Shit like that. You know what I mean?
I casually said I lost everything too. Negative 2 million as well. So
yeah,
don't forget that.
I'm not even gonna front. I'm like, as soon as he said it, I was like, shit, he lost more than I every day. Like,
yo, listen, man. The crazy part is like, and the serious part of that is that the fact that we know you, bro, and your story is one of not just greater, and that we know that story, part of your story is a loss, and on a great magnitude, it gives us hope. Even like you said, KB says the loss has been greater than I've gained, but now it gives us hope to say, you know what, we can go further. You know what I'm saying? We can go and strive to be millionaires no matter what comes our way. Even if we do lose it all, it'll all come back. So I'm real glad that you put that out there, bro.
I think it's with success, man. What I learned, man, is that happiness, peace of mind, those things are just as good, if not better, than being a millionaire. Like the thing is, like, all right, you get a certain amount of money, but if you don't know yourself, you've had like the mental health is in there. I'm really big into like therapy. I mean, it's all these different things because you can, the more you have, it's easier and it's more magnified everything you do, and it's easier to lose. Like nobody teaches the trauma of having success or becoming that. You know what I'm saying? How much harder it is when you get it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah, man.
Now, that's what that's a great segue into the conversation about DMX, bro, because me and Troy had a phenomenal conversation on Thursday evening. And the premise of the conversation was how DMX really didn't have a fair shake at life, right? At 14, he disclosed a story recently, and we've seen it come out all over the social media about how at 14 years old, he was exposed to crack cocaine by somebody he looked up to. You know what I'm saying? And not only was he exposed to it, he was tricked into smoking it, right? So now, Rob, my question to you is, right, you've seen millions, right? You've seen what the power of what money can truly do on a major scale. Just talk about the power of what money can do to you if you do not have control of who you are. Because the truth of the matter is DMX never really had control of who he was as an individual, because at 14 years old, before you start making any kind of cognizant decisions as a man of who you are about your life, at 14, you can't make the decisions. So tell me, Rob, how did money really change or exude life to you?
Okay, I want to know what words you were using just now.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out another one too. But you wasn't supposed to do that on my platform. That's Swiss's job, Rob.
How did money exonerate who you are?
I wasn't gonna say that, but I promise you.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all, but Rob, we're gonna talk about this shit later though.
How did money exasperate who you are?
You turned into Tiagas. I'm like, what the quintessential essence.
This boy turned into
effervescence of your million.
Yes, the effervescence.
That boy turned into CX.
No, but really, like, the thing is, like, man, that's why I talk about mental health, bro. Like if you get this money, bro, you don't know who you are, you don't have a solid foundation, it's worse than not having it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think J. Cole had this record, I think on the CD, on his record called Love Yours or something like that. And he talked about, I think being broke was better. I don't know if you heard that. Because it's like, everything changes, when you have some success, because like, it don't be you, it be the people. Because people think just because you got some money, you're different. Like, you're a different person. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you still laughing at exasperate.
She Mo said, did I pontificate? Yes, I did pontificate. Okay, Mo. Yes, I did.
But no, like really, it's like, man, like it's a lot of, it's so much. They don't prepare you for all the things that you go through, and things that you're going to face when you get it. Like, it's expected. Like, if you get money, for some reason, people think you got the answer to everything. Like, and you're supposed to be perfect. And the thing is, like, you still don't know. You just got some money. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have money and be corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have money and be, money just makes you more of who you already are. And if you don't start taking accountability and facing demons now, like for me, like I remember I had a lot of losses and my mother passed like right after Christmas. And I had all the success. And the thing is, like, you think when you get all the success and you have all the money you want, you think you're going to be happy, right? And for me, it like, I was depressed because I was like, shit, what's the goal now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the, I got all this stuff, but I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You think, all right, the more stuff you get, when it says money doesn't buy you happiness, like, it's true, but you don't really believe that till you get it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, yeah, okay. But the thing is, you got to work on all these qualities now. You got to be happy now before you get anything. On the way to get into your dreams or goals, you got to be happy. You got to figure out, okay, and whatever is the demons you have on the side, you got to work that shit out like before, because now you got access to anything you want now. So if you're somebody that's drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you get access to anything you want, if you can't say no now, like, it just gets worse. And for me, like, when I lost everything was really the best part of everything, because you get to see one who's in your corner, who has your back. And then I was in therapy for like 2 years. I went twice a week for 2.5 years. I had a therapist, I got a love coach, and I got a marriage counselor. And this is when I was getting a divorce, because you find out, you don't even know. I didn't know a lot of shit about marriage that I thought I knew. I grew up with both parents and things like that. So I thought, all right, having both parents and they were together my whole life, I thought I knew some shit about marriage. And it's like, when I did marriage counseling, I realized I didn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's all these things I could have been way better at. So I think for me, when you just facing those demons, finding out the trauma that you've been through in your life, like needing validation, needing approval, like needing all these things, bro, it can just destroy you if you're not able to get that intact and have a strong circle of people around you that's like, yo, they keep you accountable. Because people think just because you have money, it puts you on a different level, and you be the same person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you never introduced me, like, or if I never said what I did, nobody should be able to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody should be like, I hate that way when people make people feel a certain way and they think they're better because they have certain opportunity. Because it's like, you're not no better than nobody else. You can lose that shit so fast. You can lose it faster than what you made it. So it taught me humility. It taught me to, treat people right at all times, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know when things are going to happen.
So, Rob, let me ask you something, and I'm going to say something.
Okay.
And everybody's going to probably laugh at me, especially when it comes to the hip hop world. But this is, and maybe I'm reaching, but should the record labels, and I know this is crazy for hip hop, have some sort of morality clause? Because here's the thing, and maybe not a morality clause, maybe it's the job of the A&R, maybe, I don't know, but I look at, obviously DMX had a certain level of responsibility to himself, right? And listen, we look at some of the greatest people out here, athletes, rappers, who have gone down a road of destruction. Mike Tyson, Allen Iverson, right? And I can go on and on and on about all of these people who have had millions and lost because they didn't surround themselves with the right people. But I also look at it from the perspective of, listen, I'm not a millionaire, I'm just a hundredaire, right? But I have an access to, listen, thank God I got insurance through my job. But, you talked about that mental health, right? you talked about therapy, and for me, when somebody has that much money, yo, this bug is big as shit.
Yo, listen,
sorry.
audio listeners, you know Troy ass is outside because he can't smoke his cigars in the house, so he's fighting the bug as big as him right now.
Right, goddamn pterodactyl, some shit. But no, I mean, I just think, you know, when you talk about when people have access to means, and I'm not going to say he always abused or misused at least 1,000 there. Now I'm doing all right, man. You know, ends is meeting around this motherfucker like crazy. We doing okay. But when people have access to the means, I just think that there's a certain obligation that you have to yourself and your family to really take a deeper look at yourself. You know, because and let me just say, I don't believe that we should hold our athletes or our rappers or any celebrity. We should not hold them at a different or higher standard than we hold anybody else. They have to hold themselves to a higher standard, right? They have to hold themselves to a higher level because we, as the people who support them and buy their records or buy their sneakers, you know, buy their apparel or whatever it is, we continue to give them the means to the destruction of what they do to themselves.
Let me get in on this right quick, Troy. When you was like that whole morality thing.
You sound super low, KB.
Oh snap! Let me change my headsets again. Hold on.
All right. But while he's doing that right quick, so my thing is this. We, like Troy said, we can't hold our celebrities, quote unquote, to a standard where they're supposed to raise our society, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're the public eye, but when it comes down to what we stand for, what we teach in our homes, that's a total different standard. So, like, I look at DMX in a situation like whereas at the youngest stage of his life, at transition of his life, him turning to a man, he got caught up in the worst drug of them all at the time, right? Everybody who knows that if anybody's been introduced to crack cocaine, that is one of the hardest, if not the hardest drug to let go or release from your system. And at that stage, he was a baby. So then you say to yourself, wow, at 14 years old, like he had a long time, right? He had time to figure it out. But let's think about it. When you're the man to the circle, right? When you are the reason where the whole circle's eating, nobody's gonna stop you from doing the thing that you want to do, right? You're the bag. So he never had a system around him that was set up for him to survive and strive anyway. So once the crack came into the picture, he was now starting fighting demons, and he had to really fight all by himself, bro. So once you say now he has all this money, now the millions is coming, right? And you know what's sad? 50 Cent said in his book too that we as human beings, especially in this country, we love wounded and hurt individuals. We love
It's a fact.
damaged people. We love anybody damaged. If you look at any of the artists that have been around for a long time, made any kind of impact, they've been some of the most damaged people there are. So DMX literally just was another damaged individual that we just put on a pedestal and praised while he was hot, right? When we should have really been caring about the man and seeing what was going on with him.
What's your call again? Y'all hear me better now?
You good now,
Yep.
baby?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say about the whole morality clause thing is, that works for the athletes maybe, but in the entertainment world, let's face it, man, that pain sells, bro. That hurt sells. I mean, I've been guilty of even this, like a Happy Mary J. Blige. I'm probably not buying that album, bro.
Wow.
But a Sad Mary J.
Wow, you're right, though.
Bro, a Sad Mary J. is the number ones all day, bro. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And when it comes to that whole morality clause thing, and even when it comes to them athletes, man, we got to remember these boys coming into their money at 20, at 19. They're young, bro. They're babies. So they're coming into this money, and one day they broke. They waiting for a stipend, and then next thing you know, they signing a multi-millionaire, multi-million-dollar contract. Not to mention endorsements,
not to mention all these other people who's around them just giving them stuff. Like you feel me? So that goes straight to your head, just like what Rob was saying.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's hard to manage millions when you're used to hundreds.
Right. And that's the thing. Like people don't have people have sympathy, and they like now with DMX now, like everybody's like he's so great and they're praising him, but like the last couple of years, people have seen kind of him and his decline, and everybody just kind of like looked at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and knew it was like kind of a problem there, but nobody really is like. Nobody goes and say, all right, let me get him this help. Let me do this. Let me do that. It's like nobody cares until you die. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now everybody's like, man, they give him all his flowers and roses now. But it's like when people are going through it, it's like I think people should just have a little bit more compassion. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what's going on in somebody's life, bro. No matter how good it looks, it's always a thorn in somebody's side that you don't know about. You know what I'm saying? It's always some shit that is shit. And the thing is, like, the more you get, the bigger shit that you gotta overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had I was making money, then I had somebody I trusted, it was like somebody I mentored. He connected with a stockbroker, and I wired this guy $250,000 thinking that, he was on, know what he was doing, and he lost everything in 90 days. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just this trust. Like when you just don't know any better, and like when you lose everything, people are like, oh, he had all this money, or he had these monies, what, why didn't he do what he was supposed to do? It's like people like they can't wait for you to fail, and then but if you die, it's like damn. But they really can't wait for you to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like because they like people. Negativity breeds contempt. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I think if people like you said more, as far as morality, like when you learn more from losing than you do from winning. You know what I'm saying? When you like on top, it's hard for you to tell like X or tell somebody like, yo, hey, you should get therapy or you should chill out. When everything they touch is gold, So the blessing, I look at as failure and losing as a lesson because it lets you see adversity. And when you lose everything, it helps you see like the enemies that was always there that you thought was friends. Then it helps you see who really got your back. And I've been blessed to now just create a strong circle. And I know like at the end of the day, I know most people like don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you be thinking people really care about you winning, or you think, you think you put all this stuff in because you really think people fuck with you. But it's like, let one thing happen on it. Like even Deshaun Watson, look at like his life was great. Then now it's accusations of, it's accusations. And everybody's written them off. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. As soon as one thing happens to you, everybody writes you off. And it's like that, you got to have a strong mental health. You got to have positive affirmations. You got to have a strong circle because like bouncing back, the higher you get, the harder it is to bounce back when you fall.
So, Rob, let me ask you something. If I wire you $250,000, can we make something happen?
$250,000.
I'm just saying.
That broke ass comment got to get you up out of here. Yo, but hold on. I'm leaving. I left Jody's comment up there, bro, because just for two reasons. Because Jody's a great guy. We're gonna have him on the platform as well, man. He's a great dad. Yeah. But he says we are all drawn to broke people because we are all broken in some way. Yo, that is a powerful but true statement. Yeah. I believe that every human being over the age of 10 has some sort of trauma that needs to be worked on, bro. So it's a phenomenal point that he brought up, man.
Let's go on and say like, and a lot of people, they was looking down on Dark Man X or DMX as we know him. But let's face it, bro, for real, DMX was all of us. Except he was super transparent with it.
What do you mean?
He was super transparent. Like, we all battled something.
Yep.
And what X did was X wasn't afraid to expose his demons, even while he was going through. A lot of us will be going through going through a season where we fought down battling these demons, and we won't tell nobody. We won't tell a soul.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And X was just super transparent with it. It's like, I'm going through it right now.
Yep.
And I'm going to expose it. One, probably because he kept on getting arrested. But he But he even when he was getting arrested and everything, he was just so it's like people saying he's complicated. He's complicated.
Yep.
He was complicated. He wasn't complicated. He was human.
Yep.
All of us go through that.
Yep.
We may not go through it at that level, but we definitely battling something that we one don't want nobody to know about. Two, we wish that we had a better handle on.
Yep.
You know, and I'm gonna say this, and Rob, you know, anybody on the show knows I've been talking about this from the very beginning. The mental health aspect of everything that we do in our lives is so important. And again, I guess that's why, you know, I struggle when I see certain people go through certain things, especially people who have, again, I'm going to say this, people who have access to the means. And again, I wasn't obviously involved in a man's, you know, personal life. I don't, you know, his drug addiction, you know, his rap sheet and everything was out there for the world to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if somebody had maybe taken the time, right, the people around him, whether it was his label mates or whether it was other artists that he might have been close to, and pull this dude in and say, listen, we need to get you some intensive support in terms of therapy, right? Because, you know, and I know drug addiction at a completely different level. I grew up with it, right? My mother was hooked on crack for, you know, a number of years. And listen, shout out to my mother, Edna Mae Tribble, who has, you know, been clean 20 plus years, right?
Shout out to Auntie.
Shout out to her. You know, but I've got an uncle out there right now who, you know, listen, he's been in and out of rehab more times than anybody can count. And probably to this day, he probably still sucking on a glass dick. But, you know, listen, I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack.
Say it like
listen, y'all here smoking that rock. Oh, but I will say, listen, he has some creative ways to smoking rock, though. I done seen him do some creative things smoking some rock. But
listen though, like even when you say that, I seriously think that it was definitely people who was probably even saying this, but at the end of the day, you gotta want it, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know it was people who in his life who seriously love this man, bro. And I'm sure they was telling him, hey, X, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do that.
No
and for real, I believe he went through his seasons that, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be the man that I'm supposed to be. And then, you know, something happens, you know, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and then he just relapsed. Like that is so it's so temperamental. Like, so we just got to be super careful when we like even saying that he might not. And just like he had the means to it, I'm sure he did go. But it doesn't help for everybody.
I know for a fact,
not unless they wanted to.
I know for a fact that he tried to get help because I actually work where he actually came to twice in his lifetime to get help. So I know that he made the effort, right? But this is what me and Troy kept going back to in the conversation on Thursday. In order to get or to regroup your life, right, and gather yourself back, you would that implied that you had to have it together at one point, right? Now let's talk about this. The young man said in the interview, the day he smoked crack, he had just finished doing a robbery with somebody he looked up to. So at the age of 14, fellas, right? At the age of 14, let's think about this. At the age of 14, none of us was on this screen was robbing anything, right? None of us was out there sticking anything up, doing anything of that nature at that age. Now, granted, 4 years later, I might have been partaking in some things of that nature, but guess what? That's 4 years later, right? The gap from 14 to 18, or even 14 to 16, a young man learns so much about who he is and what he is. So we implied that in order to get your life back to something, it had to be together at one point. And I beg to differ, because at 14 years old, if you're in the street robbing for the means of you to eat tomorrow, there's something not right. And then on top of that, the person that you're doing these robberies with, you look up to as a father figure, and then the one that you look up to introduces you to the worst part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say that he ever had a life to hold on to get back to, right? So when you go to rehab, you're trying to get back to a certain place or move forward. But in no actuality, how could he move forward from the space where he never knew himself to begin with? That's my question.
And Doc, I'm gonna say this, man. After our conversation Thursday night, I really had to go back and reflect on that conversation. And I have to agree with you, right? I absolutely have to agree with everything that you said. Because I had to look back at my life and where I came from. And although I grew up with a grandmother who didn't learn how to read and write till I was in middle school, and I grew up with drug addicts around me, I still had a phenomenal life growing up, right? So I just want to say thank you to you for really kind of giving me some insight, because my thought process around that was selfish.
Yeah, you know what, Troy? Like, I appreciate you, bro, for even saying that, because it takes a big man, bro. Like, you do it to me regularly, and we talk off the air, and it's dope to actually to have men be able to say, you know what, you helped me in this way, right? This is what it's about men holding each other accountable and also making each other better. Because the truth is, iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? What you got, Rob? I see you over there. What's up?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Like, I think it just all comes back down to, like I said, just having compassion for people. And, you never know somebody's story. And it's easy to judge people based on, like, what you show on social media, or what the world is able to see. But like you said, we're all fighting things that, if you've never had examples, you've never had it together, in the first place, like, like, how can you, have it, especially when you have all this success, stuff like that. So I was just agreeing with you, what you were saying, and I think, like, as guys, we all just need to have these conversations more, and, like, we're just serious, and we're really, like, are checking on people, and we're really, like, just secure enough to be vulnerable. I think, vulnerability and authenticity, and that's being transparent, where, people are not going to judge you. I think if we can get more to that place, as men, we'd be better, because we all go through these private battles that we never share with anybody.
That's
know?
a fact. I think it's a space too, sense of space. Like, a lot of times as men, we don't have that space that we feel safe enough
Yep.
to take our problems to.
Yo,
And
KB, I'm sorry, because you making a very valid point, but this right here is crazy. Jody hit it on the head. He says, yeah, I think we tend to look at someone else's experiences and view it from the lens of our own experiences, which is not a true perspective.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's true. They said we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So we see, we see, and I think I heard Wayne Dyer he says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So that's true. When we can, like, get out of our own self and our own experiences and say, you know what, and have, like, compassion and empathy, and be like, you know what, this guy, I don't know what they've been through, but it's my responsibility, to make sure he's better and to lift him up.
Yo, and we said it last week on the podcast too, and a few other times, that no man is out really your friend, right? No man is your friend. No man is really your enemy, but every man should be your teacher, right? So now, with that being said, guys, like, we all on this panel have been influenced, right? Good, bad, or indifferent by the legend X, right? By that man. So I want to take this opportunity, and for the rest of this episode, to just start reflecting and talking about the things and the memories we have of the late great, because the truth of the matter is, a part of his life, not even a part of his life, his whole life and legacy is part of our culture, a part of our history, and is a part of our lives individually. So I want to start this off right quick with, let's go to you, Rob, man. Talk about the influence that DMX had on your life, man, and where did he lead you, good, bad, or indifferent?
Well, I mean, the first thing I think about is Belly. That movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
he should coming down them stairs with all that grease.
I don't know nobody. Yeah. I took that from him. But nah, man, I just think he was so, like, all the movies, like, everything he did, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think that I love the most is his prayers. When I look back at everything now, like, he was always praying for somebody, and before even he prayed for himself, and he was always just really just transparent, like, just, like, hey, God, I don't understand this. I don't know this. You know what I'm saying? But, don't judge me on that. Judge me on me trying to learn, or trying to, to love, because I've never had it before. People always taking the love back from me. So it's just, I love how, transparent he was, man. And he always had a smile on his face, and he always did his best to make people better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he never really had, I never seen him arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Like, or just like a certain way. Even at the height, he's performing in front of like 250,000 people. It's like, he was the same way on and off the stage. And I think I can take that from him, just like him always being transparent, him always just being like, yo, I'm a student. I'm trying to get better. I don't know everything, but, he was always grateful. You know what I'm saying? Whether he had money or not, he seemed like he was always just consistently the same person.
Fact.
That's a fact. Man, let me go ahead and say, like, I remember stealing my brother's CD when X first came out. Like, in the rap game, 1997 and 1998, you came out right there. You was a beast. You was a monster. And that's when X came out. And when he came out, not only did he drop one album that went multi-platinum, 6 months later he dropped another one that did.
Wow.
So back then, like, yeah, people, it's no small feat. I think he was like the only one to do it in within a year.
Yeah.
So I'll be walking to school, to Sunrise Middle School, and I'm blasting that X. Like, I could tell you, I put on that album and straight through, like, just know it. Like, X was that guy to me. And then, doing further research, hearing his prayers, like, and I'm a church boy. I grew up in church.
Yeah.
So, like, hearing his prayers, like, it made it cool to be okay that you're a church boy. Yeah. You understand? Like back then, people would label you that whole church boy. So X is one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even fast forward to 2020, like, or 2021, after his death or whatever, I'm reading up on him and stuff.
Coco Melon.
And I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn it back on. 1 second. I'm sorry.
You better turn it back on.
Okay,
turn that Coco Melon back on, dog.
Yo, KB's daughter said, "Turn it back on."
So I'm reading an article about how this girl was super mad at her dad, like, because her dad was on crack most of his life, and she heard him inside her hotel room, and she came out just to kind of just meet X or whatever. And then she started telling him the story, like, and he was just humble enough to hear her story. And not only that, he was like, listen, I battled with the same thing your dad did.
Yep.
But you got to learn how to forgive him.
Yep.
And so she wrote that story, and it's kind of going around now. And, like, for him to just take that time out just to say, hey, listen, forgive your dad. And she's like, the peace that she felt is just, like, amazing, bro. Like, but that's X's story, though. You feel me? Like, he's that guy.
Everybody that X came in contact with, bro. Like, I've been having, like, being that he passed, we all start going through memories, and I was watching a few YouTube and just seeing Coco Melon in the background, just seeing what was going on with him and how he interacted. So at one time, I actually got an opportunity to see him, like, run into him on Jamaica Avenue, and it was crazy because if you didn't know who he was, right, if there wasn't a mass of people around him, he would just seem to be a regular dude because he's interacting and just bopping with everybody. So I was seeing a few scenes on YouTube of him just running around in the airport and talking to people just like a regular dude. Man, he took pictures with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He was a down-to-earth dude. And my experience growing up was that, as KB, like said, I was church boy, so it wasn't no listening to DMX in the crib. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it was no turn that DMX on in my crib. I might have got killed. But the truth of the matter was, I had an opportunity, as always, at school and around friends and peers, to hear his music. So when Mom Dukes wasn't around, I got a chance to check out the videos. DMX is definitely one of them, man. And like you said, in that era between 97 and 99, man, like, that was my real growing up era. Like, that was me around that time trying to figure things out. And like you said, KB, for somebody to actually start praying in the hip hop community,
yep,
it made it cool. It made it all right for you to even say a prayer if you was out in the street before you walk somewhere. Because it wasn't seen as soft no more, because it called you a church boy. It was quote unquote being soft, right? Yep. But when you look up and DMX is out here praying, dear God, dear Jesus, it's like now you can do it now, because we laugh at it, but it made it cool. It made it easier for us to do it. Yo, Troy, what you got, man? You sitting over there with that bright ass light on again.
It's not the light, man. It's my camera. But first, I want to say, you know how I know Rob is a millionaire? Because he got furniture on loan from the royal family. Look at that furniture in the background, that lamp.
I was just gonna get
And
ready
that
to say,
chair.
nah,
He got
bro.
furniture on loan from the royal
You
family. So I
seen
know
the
he a
angle
billionaire.
before he moved that, like the outside, like it's like he on a 1,000th floor, like looking down on everybody. Look,
Rob
hey,
got the
peasants.
Knights at a Round Table chair. He's sitting on Knights at a Round Table. He's sitting on King Arthur's
King
throne
Arthur's-
right now.
It take Rob 2 hours to get downstairs in the elevator.
Facts, like, that boy looking down like clouds, like.
Oh my god.
Rob, I'm telling you, I'm sending you that $250,000. See if we can make something happen.
I got you. I got
But
you.
listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all. For me, I can't go back and really quote no DMX music. I'm not. That's kind of not what my thing is. For me, it's movies, man. And when I think about his repertoire of movies, from Exit Wounds, my all-time favorite is Cradle to the Grave. You know, I think that was Jet Li, right? When we got to really see DMX, Romeo Must Die, right? Beyond the Law, his Belly, right? And Belly was the very first movie. I think that was like 98 or something like that. I mean, he was one of the best rappers who could transition from being a rapper to being an actor, and he was believable.
Yeah.
Himself. He was being
He
himself.
was
bro.
believable.
He
So,
was
yeah, listen, if y'all don't know, listen, just look at his IMDb, man. His I mean, and Netflix has got all of his movies on right now. So between Netflix, Hulu, you know, Amazon, man, just listen, just go watch a DMX movie. You will not be disappointed in his acting skills.
In fact, how too with that Jay-Z just bought his masters back. Is that real? I know I posted it.
No,
Okay,
no,
that's
it's
real?
definitely real. And
Okay.
it was actually on a blog. I forgot what blog it was, but Jay said actually he's doing it. Definitely doing it. He brought the masters back and they're giving it to his children.
Wow.
And I believe also the stream work, all the streams. So everybody out there, man, like it don't cost you nothing to just play a DMX video on YouTube, man. Let that to the end, man. Play the commercials, let that play through, because what it's doing is giving money back to his family and to his children. So let that stream play out, man, for the man DMX.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. Like to have all the work, everything he did, man, and like not own that. You know what I'm saying? Like and you know, it's just like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Like because they said his top the top Billboard now, his top 15 songs was his now. Like, and you know, you're not having. And I think they said at one point, because he has 15 kids, like he was like his back child support of like 1.5 million or something like that. Which is crazy. Like nobody sees like, you know, like that stuff you go through, bro. To have all that success, bro, and not have no money.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's crazy.
And I think Kevin Hart also said it the best. I was listening to Kevin Hart one day, and you know, he was talking about, you know, people. He was actually talking about how people talk about Jay-Z, and you know, Jay-Z being a billionaire. And he said one thing. He said it's easy for people who don't have money to direct or talk about what people with money should do. But he talked about, you know, when you have that level of success in terms of money, you move different, you act different, right? So, and again, Doc, it just goes back to the conversation that you and I, you know, had Thursday night. Well, I kind of really had to think back and reflect on that and just say, it's easy for me to say, you know, what a person with millions or hundreds of millions or, you know, should be doing. But at the end of the day, you know, Rob said it best. You know, there's a huge responsibility that kind of comes with that. And it's not always easy. You know, it's not always easy. It's easy for us to kind of sit back and say, you know, DMX should have did this or DMX should have did that. The reality is we don't know what he did, right? We don't know what the people around him in the rap community maybe tried to surround him and put their arms around him and say, yo, listen, D, you know, come on in out the cold. So again, the only thing I can say at this point is, I didn't want to come on here and disparage the man, disparage his family, because at the end of the day, he's not with us, right? And his family still has to go through that pain of losing a father, losing a niece, losing a brother, a cousin, a son. So again, just, shout out to the whole DMX family, his kids, fiancés, baby mothers, because he's missed. He's missed in the community.
Yep.
Yo, he's a solid pillar of our community too, man. And I want this to be known that he was dope because no matter what, right? Drug addiction, no matter what, X was X. And this is the thing I want to take away from it all is that no matter what you're going through, man, good, bad, and indifferent, stay who you are. Don't let what you go through change you, right? Go through it as yourself and come out of it a better version of yourself. Like your DMX, even through all his tests, trials, and tribulations, he had the same energy, man. Like it was never a time you seen him when he wasn't who he said he was, right? And he didn't have the same energy at all times. So I want us to have that same energy, right? No matter what's going on in our lives, good, bad, or indifferent, man. Make sure that you being yourself. If you're an upbeat dude, stay upbeat. Don't let the tests and trials take it from you. If that's your style, be who you are.
Let's talk.
Stupid over there. I see you got a smart grin
I
on
was gonna say too, like so much is given, much is required. And I think X said it too, like he was like, whenever you go through, you get closer to God. And every time he goes through, he gets closer to God. So I just think that he understood the spiritual level better than a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just think that the brother was, like you said, battling demons, and his battle wasn't against the flesh and the blood, but it was against the spiritual wickedness and the principalities in the air. You feel me? So he just was battling in constant battle within himself.
Yeah, and listen, Jody popped a comment up there, and Jody, listen, I absolutely have to agree. We need to disparage less and celebrate more, right? Because at the end of the day, every man out here walks different. So, and Doc, I was laughing because in my mind I was thinking like, yo, what DMX sound like when he was getting some pussy? Like,
yo,
don't throw me out.
Nah, I got to. I got to get his ass out of here. Only he was some dumb shit like that. Yo, Rob was pressed the button. He didn't even have the power.
I never think about a grown man having.
Come on, man. Hey, yo, want that jump?
Yeah, that's not something Exit one more time for that.
Get him out one more time. All right, just Rob as a guest, man. Just Rob Export as a guest. We can get him out.
One more time. He deserves it.
I'm over here being mad loud. I'm about to get yelled at.
Nah, but listen, it was, and here's the thing that's funny, man. So many comedians did DMX. Ari Spears, man, I think he probably had the best DMX impersonation.
Hell yeah.
So X, he gave us so many moments as far as music. He gave us so many moments as far as film. And then he gave us so many moments for like comedians just to do, just to impersonate his voice. That he, like you said, he's just phenomenal, right? Because his voice alone, it made him phenomenal.
Nobody used inflections like DMX much.
Right.
Like DMX would be talking and thinking, and when he started, like, and that's just the way he talked. Like, even with so much emotion, like he forced you to listen to what he had to say, just because of the way he spoke. And we will never see that again, bro.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of rappers who could give you 1,000 bars on freestyle. And honestly, Jay, DMX, M, right? And DMX was never afraid of a freestyle.
That's a
Never.
fact. He went up against the greatest. So if you guys don't know or have an opportunity to go check that out, go look that up. DMX freestyles with Jay-Z, one of the best freestyles you've ever heard in your life. Yeah, listen, guys, we coming down to the last few minutes of the podcast, and what we do on the Perfect Fathers podcast in the episode is every father gives the fathers a tip of the week, right? We give the fathers out there a tip to live off of through the week, so it can not only help them get through the week, but strive through the week to be the best versions of themselves. So, with that being said, yo, KB, started off, man. Get the
All
father.
right, so y'all know my tip is for the fathers is usually to do with the fitness thing. You know what I'm saying? Fitness in the way that you look out in the present. So, you know, since we have Rob on today, so what we're gonna say the tip of the day is get a size smaller shirt. So when you walking around, you look swole as hell. You feel me? Just a smidge of the side, and if it's you know what I'm saying, like if you can't get it, just wash on hot, maybe
Nah,
6 times before you wear it. And
Rob's washing machine got a boil setting.
so that's my tip of the day. That and hit the gym 6 times a day, like you be good. Hey,
Hey,
open my door.
Yo, you so
boy,
funny.
that's disrespectful. Right now, you come on here, you're gonna get disrespected. Hey, I kept playing that Coca Melon. You know, that was me.
Yeah, I know it
You beat at your mic. Well, I took it
was.
today.
And guest needs to be tossed out too.
All right,
All
all right, get him out of here, KB. Why not? You know what I mean? We don't have no coof around here. Get the guest out of here.
They got me out of there. No, that's good. I appreciate it. I would say, but with friends like this, you don't need enemies. That's what I'll say. Especially a guy down outside with the flashing light on him outside, especially him. No, I would say, man, just to be as we're going through life, man, just to be happy where you are. You know what I'm saying? Because certain material success or when you get these things that you want, if you're already not happy, if you don't already love yourself, it's hard to get that once you get access to everything. So I think it's building discipline and knowing that even if you're not where you want to be, because you're never really where you want to be, because success is a moving target. As soon as you get to like one goal, you hit it, then it's like the other stuff is small. It gets smaller and smaller. So just to be happy. I'm really happy, man, and just just know you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Just breathe, and be grateful. But if you don't have it yet, because there's some things you got to learn. It's best to learn it and have that foundation before you get it.
Solid. Yo, TR, man. Come on, give us your last spiel with your light died down over there.
Hey man,
Oh, look at
I
you.
don't know what it is when I
Moving
move with the camera, it just does something weird with the lighting. But my tip of the day is always about taking care of self, right? And again, I'm big on try something different. This was Masters weekend. I used to play golf a lot more than I currently do. But I spent, this weekend with the grandkids just watching the Masters. And a lot of people say, "Oh, golf is a white man's sport. It's not for us." But the reality is, I can't speak for no place. But Atlanta, man, some of the best golfers that I've ever played with are black, and they are in Atlanta. But listen, go out and take up a hobby. Try golf, man. It's a very relaxing sport. It's not something where you've got to go out and play against somebody else. And the reality is, a lot of golf courses, I mean, the scenery on some golf courses, the scenery in itself is just relaxing. So even if you can't play, just go out, walk the course. Is great exercise. Get with a group of brothers that play. Take a couple of lessons. Maybe you and your lady, but just aspire to do something different, and you'd be surprised how quickly you might love it.
dope, man. Yo, guys, this has been another phenomenal episode. Guys, I'm the character and confidence building dude. So my tip of the week is this: confidence is a muscle. You dig what I'm saying? And any muscle you want to develop, you got to work. You got to stretch. You got to put some tension to. Do the work on your character. Put the work in today, because if you put the work on you today in your character, tomorrow your confidence will show through easily. I promise you that. Do the work today, and tomorrow will be easy for you. So, fathers, remember, we do this every single week here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, bring somebody, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a father. We over here trying to inspire, entertain, and encourage them. Fathers, understand this. To the world, you are just a dad. That's all. But to your family, you are the world. Don't you forget that. And until next time we see you guys again, be good to yourself and the ones around you. But if you can't be good to the ones around you, it's all right. Just get those folk from around you. Yo, man, this is RJD, the imperfect gentleman. Rob is late on the throwback, but it's all good. This has been the
He
imperfect.
couldn't lift his arm. His shirt was too tight.
This is the Imperfect Fathers podcast, and we are out of here.
He was pulling that thing, trying to get his
I was
shirt
still
up.
thinking about him daydreaming of X having sex with somebody. I just couldn't.
We out of here.